Howdy, hello, and welcome back. Today is the 14th episode of The Preferred Few, and today we're making history with the very first king on the Preferred channel. Make some noise and give it up for... Falcon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We're up and drag at a certain evening on this evening. So drag in the evening is it's not always fun.
No,
but
it is not.
I'm so used to being with Pride all the time. I feel like that's a connection. It's not with Pride.
Yes.
It's not Pride currently.
It is not. It is not.
Pride is over, and we're still in drag.
We are. Middle of the day.
Yeah, middle of the day. Are you ready to soar high and swoop up some of this tea?
Let's go.
All right, so we're gonna get into it. Pretty interesting because we've only worked together a few times.
We have.
And the last time we worked together, which we'll get into, I was like, yep. You were so sweet, so kind. I was like, I had to have them on the channel, so here we are. Although you are a huge supporter of the Birmingham drag scene, you don't actually live in the Birmingham area, do you?
Not anymore.
Like,
no.
It's the surrounding area, right?
An hour and 20 minutes away. Yeah.
An hour and 20 minutes away. That is a long drive.
I'm an hour and 20 from everywhere.
Where are you? What is the exact town? It's something with an A, right?
Haleyville.
What was the other one with an A? Did you live in something with an Adamsville? No?
I mean, I grew up in a small town, one street light.
I think that's what I'm thinking about.
Adger,
that's what it was.
Adger.
I was about to say, I remember seeing something with an A, but Haleyville, Alabama.
Home of the 911 call.
Oh, the first
911 call.
I literally just learned about that on TikTok the other day. That's so crazy.
In the free state of Winston.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Not that I know.
Have you always been an Alabama native, though?
Yes.
Okay. What is it like growing up as a queer individual in Alabama?
Where I grew up, it wasn't talked about at all. I mean, we did not discuss it.
Yeah.
My sister came out as bi when I was probably a teenager, and she's 17 years older than me. So that will tell you a little bit about how far back.
So you do have like more queer individuals in your family. It's not just, you weren't like a trailblazer.
No, I was not. But I was a late bloomer.
Got you. When did you kind of dig deep into that queerness or that realization of your queerness?
I knew growing up, just never went through that. And it was just really almost 4 years ago now. At an event, something happened. I was kissed by a girl.
Oh.
And
Katy Perry starts playing in the background.
And I was like, it just triggered something, and
Gotcha.
Been going strong ever since.
I mean, at least it was like a personal like recognition. You know what I mean? Like that's what really like clicked to you. That's I feel like that's super rare. A lot of people kind of go with like a mental thought,
right,
instead of like an actual realization. And
actual realization. Yes.
But where do you identify like on the queer spectrum? You are
trans.
I was about to say you are on more so the trans spectrum.
Trans.
Did you start off non-binary or was it immediately?
I immediately knew I was trans.
Gotcha.
I knew as a kid I was trans. I would pack as a kid just to look like a boy.
I love that.
Always dressed like a boy. People would ask if they thought I was a boy. I went with it.
Gotcha.
I did, and so yeah.
Do you identify as a straight male, a queer trans man? I was about to say
more straight male.
Okay. I'm gonna go on record here and say you're the first straight person on the channel, and I'm okay with it. This one time, I'm okay with it. Usually, I'm not. I'm very iffy on the straight people. But since you're still on the spectrum, I'm gonna allow it.
Yeah, I think I go more straight. I mean, bi-curious maybe.
Yeah.
More bi.
With a question mark on the end.
With a question mark on the end, yeah.
As long as there's a question mark.
Yes.
As long as we're, open about it.
Yes.
Is drag something that helped you with that gender identity?
It is.
Gotcha.
So right after coming out, I went to my first Pride. That was 3 years ago.
That did it, yeah.
And
I swooped you on up.
So right after that, I started looking into Central Alabama Pride and saw the pageant and thought, I trained for that my whole life, dancing in my room, singing, 80s rock music. So I pursued the pageant. Didn't win, but hey. Came back this past year, second time, and here I am, Mr. Central Alabama Pride.
I was about to say, from the intro, you are the current reigning Mr. Central Alabama Pride, which we're going to get a little bit into that towards the end. But I remember first seeing you start your drag, and you were so like quiet and humble, and now you're a big old title holder.
I'm a title holder.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What made you officially get into drag? Was it more so like seeing the scene yourself, or was it something inspirational?
So I'd only been to a drag show a couple of times. At the Quest with some friends. I used to work at Joe's Crab Shack, and we would leave there and come to the Quest. I started looking into what it would entail to do the pageant, and so that's where I really got digging deep into it and thought, I think I could do this.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, in my eyes, I feel like it might just be me. I feel like you're known as a huge drag supporter. I mean, from the Florence area to the Huntsville area. Was there like a click to make you want to go out and see the drag, or was it just...
It was more of supporting the community. And I feel like we don't have enough of unity across the state.
Yes.
Birmingham has their drag, Huntsville has their drag.
But it's very disconnected.
Right, it's disconnected.
I agree.
And so one of the things that as a title holder, before becoming a title holder, I started going to Huntsville to drag shows. I started going to Florence to drag shows. Hadn't made it south yet, but I'm coming.
Yeah. And I mean, no tea, no shade, but I have shows in Dothan, Alabama. You are on the preferred few now. So there is a connection with the preferred show. So you will definitely make it to the South very, very soon. But I do love that, though, because I agree with the disconnection. I feel like there's a huge disconnection with the Alabama drag scene. And I love, that's a part of having my shows in Dothan. I love bringing Birmingham entertainers. Like you said, it definitely needs to be more of a unity, especially it's a drag community.
Right.
A community.
Exactly.
But do you have did you see it more so of like the art form that you were inspired by, or the drag itself that you were inspired by? Like, were there any specific people? I know we have one connection of Amber Valentine.
Yes.
She was one of those people. As I was stalking your Facebook to find all this information, I found a lot of pictures of Amber, and I was like, oh wow, okay.
Also, initially when I did the first pageant, the first people to reach out to me was Addison. And Jesse. And so I was at the Quest a good bit, just as a spotlight most of the time. On Friday and Saturday nights, I did a lot of spotlighting. I did Baddest with Addison.
I think that's actually where we had met, was either a Baddest Bitch or just doing a show
one
night.
Right.
I do remember it was at the Quest, though.
Yes. Yeah. At the time, I still wasn't sure if I was wanting to do the drag scene. I think I was more or less going to be a pageant king.
Yeah.
But after getting to the Quest and seeing, the community, it became more of enjoying this.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Quest as a whole, like, Quest does get a lot of downfall sometimes.
It does.
And I mean,
but a lot of people have started at the Quest.
Yeah.
A lot of people have.
It's a very sticky topic. However, I will say there is a huge community at the Quest. And it's, we were talking about community. Owls on 7th has a very huge community, and they're two totally different communities.
Exactly.
Which is very unfortunate, but it is. Sometimes, depending on what day you ask me, the Quest community is a little bit more accepting than the Owls on 7th community, and sometimes it's vice versa.
Right.
So it's very interesting.
And it really depends on what you're looking for that night.
It does. It really 1000% does. Like, if I'm looking for a good drag show where I just want to sit, have a drag show, go home, Owls. If I'm looking to party all night, Quest.
Right.
But I know at Quest I will have those people and have that community and feel safe. Because I know, even though people want to say Quest is not safe.
I've always felt safe at the Quest.
Yeah. It just depends on, and it's funny because it's never the queer people who...
Exactly.
We'll just leave it at that.
Exactly.
But you were mentioning Addison and others. Did you have any help or any inspiration from those people when you were starting your drag, or was it just the late night supports at the Quest?
I was accepted by the Von Trails into participating with them as a family.
Yes.
And we've all pretty much doing our thing now, some of us. And so Amber's still my sister. Will always be. Same with,
Can't get rid of her.
Can't get rid of her,
No.
It's like a bad infection.
Unfortunately.
But we love her. Still in cahoots with Sailor. So, Sailor and I will be in Columbus this weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say, I actually noticed you and Puddin. Puddin is someone who also was my second guest here on the channel. So I love Puddin, and I know it's you, Sailor, Monica, and Athena?
Athena.
Yeah,
yes.
This sounds like an exciting show. And bringing good drag back to Columbus. We'll just keep it at that. But do you still believe in, like, drag families? Do you still participate in a drag family?
It's nice to have.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
support.
even the connections of, like you said, Amber is still your sister.
Yeah.
I know earlier we were talking about Tsunami, who hopefully you will see on this channel very soon. And you said that was your drag wife?
Yes, Tsunami, my drag wife.
Yeah, she is incredible.
We are the reigning Mr. and Miss Sweets and Treats forever because, that venue closed that we had our Sweets and Treats at. Yeah, she's my drag wife.
So you still have those, like, family connections, those drag family connections.
Yes.
I got you. And you actually have an actual family out of drag, correct?
I do have an actual family. My family's very supportive.
That's always good to have.
I have 2 adult children and 3 teenagers, 7 grandkids, and a girlfriend.
Do you see yourself actually starting, like, another drag family, or your drag family of your own? Or being a part of another drag family?
I don't know. With wanting to travel to other areas of the world, I don't know, because sometimes families get complicated.
Yeah, they really do.
Sometimes it's okay to just be on your own, I guess.
I agree. I mean, that's how I've always identified with my drag, as being its own independent thing. Sometimes you don't, actually all the time you don't.
It'd be nice that guidance is nice
when
but
you get that guidance.
When you get that guidance, but
sometimes you sign up for things that you don't necessarily get.
But for a king, and Amber and I actually had this conversation earlier, we don't have a lot of those in the South, and learning from a drag queen for a king is a little different, because the makeup style,
definitely understandable things. And like you mentioned, it's very iffy with drag families of what you get and what you sign up for.
Exactly.
So yeah, I definitely don't blame you on that aspect. But with family or no family, with the small amount of time that you've had in drag, you've had a bunch of success, which is crazy.
Yes.
From shows to pageants to everything, your drag has grown so much. Through your growth and talent, though, you ended up snatching a few pageant titles. But how is your current reign as Mr. Central Alabama Pride 2024?
I'm absolutely loving it. We have a fabulous court. We're paving a way for the next group that's going to have to step up. Right now, all of us are on the board. And if you see anything on the Book of Faces and all those,
the Book of Faces,
you will see that all of us are getting out and trying to spread out.
Yeah. And I mean, I actually saw where y'all had went to, I think it was dinner or lunch together too.
We did.
Yeah, and I was like, that's so cool to have that.
There's something in the works.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Stay
tuned on the Book of Faces for that. I know you have a few other titles, such as the one you mentioned, Sweets and Treats, Mr. Sweets and Treats. Do you have any other pageant titles besides those?
No pageant titles. I am the current lieutenant with the crew of Caritas.
I was about to say, you are in the Caritas crew, which, do you ever see yourself doing any of those pageants?
I did do their pageant last year, and it was Sailor and I.
Gotcha. And Sailor's the
current Mr. And of course, this year I didn't qualify because I didn't have the length of time from receiving cap to being able to do Caritas this year. So I sent in an application to become a member, became a member, and just recently received the title of lieutenant for
Gotcha.
this year's pageant. I mean, ball, not pageant. Ball.
Gotcha. But would you say you're a pageant king?
I think I have reached my titles. You know, I went in the first year with Central Alabama Pride, and that was just kind of like one of my goals. I was like, I'm gonna do it until I get a title. So I got that, and then I told my girlfriend after becoming a member with Caritas that I feel like Caritas would be my lifelong commitment of helping in the community. And so I've accomplished 2 of the things I set out to do in it. Not that I'm giving up drag, but you know,
obviously the Falcon still flies.
I don't know that I have a true desire to go like to a national pageant or a prelim yet.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
So it's kind of just something that you was on your to-do list of drag, your bucket list of drag, if you would say so. You got it done and you feel accomplished. Got you.
Accomplished.
Do you see like any like bar titles if they come up? You see yourself doing them?
So there's Miss Merry Christmas.
Got you.
I think I might do
sounds fun.
indies for that. I have the application. I hadn't sent it in yet, but I've got a little bit of time.
Got you.
So I'm thinking about that one, but you know, I don't know.
So I kind of feel like I already know this answer, but are you a competitive person?
Very competitive.
Really?
Person. Yes.
I feel like because you're so calm and collected, I don't really see you as
now.
I'm
one of those people that win or lose, I'm gonna be a good sport about it.
So that's where I'm not.
And,
if I lose,
I'm like, yay, congratulations to you.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people.
What about competitions as a whole? Do you see yourself branding out, maybe doing like a weekly competition, a monthly competition? Since you do have that competitive side.
Well, I've kind of thought about Drag Assassins.
Okay. I was going to say, have you ever done Drag Assassins?
No, I have not.
Gotcha.
But, Emily keeps asking me, when am I going to do it?
Definitely think you should do it.
I'm thinking maybe in September, my birthday month, maybe.
And we actually just put together when we were about to start filming that this is coming out on your birthday.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to put a little special happy birthday to Falcon at the very, very end. But that is crazy. I'm gonna have to put you. We're gonna have to talk about you doing the preferred show for your birthday month because that's the very. We'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm surprised you haven't done Lip Sync Assassins. That's kind of shocking. I feel like everyone in the Birmingham area has at least tried it once. Even myself.
I get nervous on lip syncing.
Okay.
Outside of what I'm prepared for.
What is your lip sync, your performance style? Because I love, specifically when I think about you performing, I think about your CAP performance or Central Alabama. Your Birmingham Pride performance. And you did the huge moment with all the flags. It was super
So this
incredible.
year was True Colors.
Yes, True Colors.
I did True Colors.
And I think of like very like dad music. I don't know if that's a bad thing to say, but I think of like very.
So that was my talent from the pageant.
Gotcha.
And when I do my talents in the pageants, I go with something that's going to grab at the judges' heartstrings.
Yes.
Typically, my first year I did a combination of This Is Me and The Village. That was a very emotional. When I started practicing it, I don't think I could practice it the whole time without tearing up myself because of the meaning behind the song. And my daughter, who's my birth daughter, she's in her 30s, and that was her first time seeing me being myself, like true self. And I could not make eye contact with her through that whole pageant because she cried through the whole pageant. And so I tried to do my songs for that just bring the emotion, and I think I bring the emotion with it. Typically, I like 80s rock music, Bon Jovi.
I could totally see you.
My favorite. I've done some more, Bruno's Mars.
So you could bring stuff like even Bon Jovi. I feel like would really, really hit at Owls. I could so see you doing that. Yeah. We'll have to keep an eye on the books of faces to see if that happens.
Yes.
But what about the future as a whole? Where do you see yourself? Do you always see yourself? I know I kind of know the answer to this because we were just talking about this. But do you always see yourself in Alabama? Do you see yourself moving on?
So it's not going to be for at least a year, but I am looking to do part of my time in another state.
Do part of your time. That's what we're going to
do part of my time. But looking at going to Rhode Island for some of the time and see how the drag is up there. You know,
honestly, Rhode Island drag sounds like so much fun.
Boston, Providence areas. Yeah,
I want to go to Boston so bad. Boston sounds like so much fun.
Boston is a beautiful place.
Boston and Rhode Island from Alabama. That's crazy. Do you see the Falcons still being connected in that?
Oh, I do. I do because I think, like I told my girlfriend, I think I'm looking at it as a growth experience because the King scene up there is a little bigger.
Especially Boston. Boston has like very like quirky drag kings.
Yes. I put a thing on the Book of Faces and in one of my groups that I'm in, and within about 15 minutes, I had about 15, 20 responses, you know, saying, yeah, I'm in this area, reach out, you know. And so that was kind of cool because my girlfriend's worried about me leaving my friends and my community down here. But, you know, we're in a state where
there's not a lot of growth, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. Not a lot of growth. And, you know, being trans in Alabama.
It's very, very hard.
And so, it
is very, very difficult.
So there's that. And so, going to an area where it's accepted and out there, and you don't have to beg your doctor for a prescription for your testosterone, you know?
But I mean, and like you were saying, the drag scene out there is incredible. Rob Zombie from Dragula is from the Boston area. Blair is also from the Boston area. Incredible drag. Very artsy fartsy drag,
right?
And I feel like no tea, no shade, but you bring in that little southern twang to the Boston area will hit.
Bring my country songs.
So well, yes. And I mean, from you were mentioning growth from the time, as I mentioned, first time I met you to now. I remember you were an overalls king. You used to wear a lot of overalls and like very like flannelly. I don't know why, but I used to think of you as like a country king. I don't know if that was just a different era that I met you in, but you don't get very country now. And the first time we officially worked together, besides like, you know, Baddest Bitch or something where it was like just passing through, was at Jacqueline's show, Hot Lava in Florence, Alabama, where I like actually got to speak to you. We had a whole chit chat. We had plenty of time to talk.
Exactly.
So that's where I officially got to meet you. You actually applied to be on the show, and I was the second I like fully got to talk to you, I was like, yes, absolutely, 1,000%.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we reached out. You've always been a very humble and kind person, and especially in this drag scene. But now it's time to make this dumb with a segment I like to call Dumb and Quick.
Yay.
So I don't know if you've ever seen the show, but
I have.
You'll have 6 questions with 9 seconds to answer them. You know, we're coming up on a year in the preferred few, so we're switching things up, making things a little bit different. This time, if you don't answer within the allotted time, an embarrassing photo of you.
Oh God!
All right, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
So number 1, 9 seconds on the clock. Pineapple or pears?
Pineapple.
Easy. I love it. I mean, we literally just had a pineapple energy drink. Number 2, favorite Alabama entertainer?
Does it have to be drag?
No.
The group Alabama.
Okay, that's fair. It's a artist, like a band.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never heard.
Their country music.
That's why I
haven't heard
old. Yeah. Number 3, favorite soda.
Baja Blast.
Like the Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Ew. I'm a Mountain Dew girl. I
only like Baja, and it has to be
fair.
Fountain from
Mine
Taco
was,
Bell.
What was the I'm like that with Coke or Sprite, like the McDonald's Sprite. It has to be.
It has to be out of a fountain.
Yes.
Yes.
What is the high voltage? The blue one?
Oh yeah.
That's the only one I used to like.
Yeah.
I hate every other Mountain Dew. I don't know. Number 4, Eagles or Falcons?
Falcons.
I was about to say that would be a little biased. 5, 10 times 0.
What?
4 seconds remain on the clock.
0.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct.
See, that was one of those trick questions. Made my brain hurt.
Number 6, I actually just learned this about you, so I feel like I know the answer. Coffee or Red Bull?
Red Bull.
Yeah, I'm a huge Red Bull addict. I will literally drink it.
I mean, I like coffee, but if I had to choose, like, if I couldn't drink coffee, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm lactose intolerant, so I have to be very careful with the coffee, or else it will ruin my entire day. And lastly, where can they follow you?
So I have the Book of Faces, Facebook, and it's Falcon King because they make you have a last name. I don't know how these people.
Crazy. It's very homophobic.
How do these people get first names like Cher? You know,
just Cher.
Yeah,
I think it would be like very difficult and do like a page, and the Facebook pages are too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
And then I have Instagram, and I think it's Falcon King 16.
Gotcha.
But you can link it through my Facebook.
It's fine. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely.
It's since I've met you, I've always found a very specific interest in you for your humbleness and your kindness.
Thank you.
Because that's very unpopular in the drag scene, let alone the Birmingham drag scene. But immediately when we worked together in Florence, I was like, yes, I need you on the show. You were amazing.
Thank you.
But until next time, make sure to follow me on all of my socials at The Only Preferred. Like, comment, and subscribe for a brand new video every single Sunday, and a brand new The Preferred Few every first Sunday of the month. Until then, stay queer, stay preferred, and stay flying like a falcon.